What you want to say.
Moving into Don's comments. Quick question to Mike, since you guys seem to be flowing. You know, you're all 3 minutes, you're all entitled to 3 minutes of close. And I think that
We have to close the
let's Eric, are you gonna, you've got 4 minutes to question Mike?
Yeah, I still like that.
You still like the question? Okay, Eric, but Don,
Okay.
you still have question time too.
Let me see. I have a question for I don't, okay, Eric, or Mike, I don't believe the single word is ridiculous here, rather just missed. But it's interesting that it's persuasive as Eric's presentation can be for some people. He's got nothing to convince, he's got nothing that's convincing as your correlation between higher extinction and global warming. Can you elaborate on that fascinating theory? That's what I had.
The point of the pirates versus global warming graph there is to show that you can fit data into any given theory. You can, and I think it's very easy to concede to Mr. Hovind here that it could be argued that scientists have shaped the data to make it look like it's not a god that created it. But I think that, it begs the question, why would they do such a thing? We have medicine, we have electricity, we have phones, we have an understanding of gravity in our universe that is far beyond what was known at the time that the Bible was written. And we have those things through the scientific process. And the point of that particular statement is to show that you can trust somebody with wit. And you can trust somebody to present a good argument based on some data they find. But the real question is, how can you trust them? Okay? You can't trust me. The Christians in here, you cannot trust me. Because you and I, we don't have the same kind of bond that you and Eric have. Okay? And you know what? I'm sorry if what I have to say is offensive to people. Whether or not somebody thinks I know right and wrong, I know right and wrong. If you're offended by me, I'm sorry. This is the way we work. This is the way the world works. But when it comes down to presenting data, we can do it however we like. But the question is, who you're going to trust and why.
I think that's very good. He talks about global warming. You just heard about the global warming scandal of the 1,079 emails that were discovered. Can scientists do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do they? Yeah. Would you agree that there's global warming scientists have done that?
I think, I couldn't make an unequivocal statement.
Well, when they say things like, if they ever hear there's a Freedom of Information Act now in the UK, I'll delete the file rather than send it to anyone. And then once the Freedom of Information Act asked them for stuff, he said, oh, instead I'm going to appeal to the higher law because I'm an international agency.
Absolutely, and that's terrifying. And you know what it comes down to?
But you just said we can trust them. And
You said we can. I didn't say that. I did not say you can trust them. I
said surely you can trust somebody with wit.
No, I said surely you must be dubious of men with wit. You must be able to look into that data yourself. You must be able to look into it, take the classes, get the information yourself. If you really don't know what's going on, look it up for yourself. Can you trust all scientists? No. Can you trust all religious leaders? No. So when it comes down to it, you're and with all due respect, you make moral arguments as if we don't have the ability to judge right from wrong.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
Yes, you
you
did.
do.
Yes, you did.
You said atheists. You literally said atheists had no ethics.
He said that atheists God.
The whole point of atheists using morality, what atheists sometimes fail to recognize is that the only way we could get morality is based on the God of the Bible.
That's based on your opinion.
No. Think about it. If we were really random chance over billions of years, and we just all evolved, and we're just highly evolved animals, what determines right from wrong?
This is very easy.
You can say,
the only ability.
you can say, oh, society. Well, why does society determine right from wrong?
Because we help each other. We help each other and throw our own genes into the future by helping each other.
But that doesn't say why it's right. What you're going to do is you're going to get to what's called an infinite regress. Eventually, you're going to have to come up with an authority.
That's the same problem you have, though, sir. When you say there's Why does it work this way? Why does it work this way? Just presuming that you have the answer to why. Whether or not that's true doesn't make it true. Okay? And again, respectfully, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot say what religion is right or wrong. I don't have that ability. Some people think they do. And that is the disagreement that I have. I don't believe that I have the right to tell you what is right and wrong. I don't believe I have the right to say this book is the only book you'll need for the rest of your life. I believe it is my responsibility to point you in every direction I can that I know that will help you arm yourself against men that are persuasive with wit.
And of course, I applaud that. I will say you're right. You need to be very careful of individuals that have the ability to sway somebody. There's no question you got to be careful of that. However, if you're using that to say, don't trust Christians, okay, that would be a logical fallacy.
Understand that I never once said, don't trust Christians. And I would never say that. I have some good friends in this audience that know very well that I would never say such a thing. That's wrong. Well, why would you? Who could make a statement like that?
Here's the problem. The only way we can account, let me ask you a question. How do we account for immaterial? Are the laws of logic immaterial?
I have no idea what that question is.
Are the laws of logic immaterial?
According to one of your creation little videos that I actually watched this morning, you said that logic was immaterial, universal, and unchanging.
Is that
And
true
then
or
you
false?
said, and then,
Is that
well,
true or
it's
false?
just like your definition of religion. If you want to read a real definition of logic, you're going to have to read several pages of a thesis on
No,
it.
it's a
You
simple
can't break
question.
it down to.
Okay, let's go with mathematics.
It's true if you want to then say that God is immaterial and universal and unchanging, and then make the correlation that logic and God are the same, or God
But what
makes
I'm
logic.
saying,
That's what you do in your video.
what I'm saying is the only internally consistent worldview that can account for immaterial, universal, unchanging laws is the Christian worldview.
Buddhism can do
Okay,
that.
okay. Well, we have to move to closing arguments now.
In total fallacy, Buddhism can do the same thing.
Somebody tell me real quick, what is this?
It's a sideways seagull.
It's the number 3, right? Backwards G. Now, we no longer have the number 3. It's gone. We can't use it anymore, right? No. What is the number 3? It's a concept. It's an abstract idea. Is it a material thing? Is it a universal thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it an unchanging thing?
Yes.
How do we account for that? It's not unchanging?
No, because we don't all use the
We
same
can
symbols
change
for
the number 3?
We don't all use the same
The
symbols.
Mayans use
All
God.
right, hold up. It's your time to make some closing statements.
We're not talking about the symbol.
I can have 3 M&Ms. I can write the number 3. I can do it in Roman numerals, line. The point is, the number 3 is an immaterial, universal, and unchanging number. Now, how do we account for universal? It applies everywhere. No matter where you're at, it's going to apply. 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4, no matter where you're at. You're going to say, oh, I think it could be 5.
Please save your questions till later. We gotta finish this closing.
You could say, no, maybe it's the number 5. Well, you could change the number 3 to mean, or number 4 to mean the number 5. That's semantics. I'm saying 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. That is a universal law, is it not? It's unchanging that tomorrow is 2 plus 2 going to be 4. Next week is 2 plus 2 going to be 4.
Hallelujah.
And it's it's immaterial. You cannot touch the number 3 or the number 4. Now, how do you account for those numbers? How do you account for immaterial? Because if atheism is true, this is a material world, and I don't know. This is a material world. Okay? Right? How does a strictly material world account for, deal with something that is abstract and immaterial, universal, unchanging? I know this is, for some people, this is deep and you're not going to get it right away. How does a material world account for that?
Excuse me, can I go? No.
My whole point, even even though this was supposed to be creation versus evolution, and I would love to talk about that, but obviously that's not where we headed. My whole point is the only internally consistent worldview that can account for immaterial, universal, and unchanging laws is the Christian worldview, because the Bible tells us God. Because the Bible tells us God does not change. It tells us He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. It says He is a spirit. God is universal.